Let's listen, guys.
You have to learn to make money. The second one is that you have to learn to manage money. And the third one is that you have to learn to invest money. If you don't understand all three skills, then you are going to be in trouble. But for the sake of this video, we are going to pay attention to the number one, which is making money. So I put together a 10-step process that you can use to achieve these feats, all right, which is making money. The number one of it is that you have to find a solution to a problem. You cannot make money if you do not find a solution to a problem. Every single business in the world operates on this very method. Find a solution to a problem. How do you know that you found a solution to a problem? Is that whatever you are doing must relieve people from pain. Pain, very, very important. Whatever you are doing should release people from pain. If it does not relieve them from pain, it means that you are not solving the problem. Pain is what you have to look for. That is the formula. That is what every business functions on. Now, when you have done that, the number two is that you have to become a problem solver. Somebody who becomes a problem solver, not somebody who complains about a problem. There are two types of people in this world: those who complain about problems and those who provide solutions to problems. The people who provide solutions to problems, they are always going to become rich. Those who don't provide any solution to problems, they are always going to become poor. So you have, in terms of your mentality, to already become a problem solver. When I started my business in Morocco, the problem that we were solving is that there weren't enough clean, affordable apartments for people who travel to my city. It's true that we didn't start this with this notion. I found my business accidentally, but that was the problem that my business solved, right? We had an agent from Cameroon. He was called Roger. He was finding these apartments for us, and Roger would have doubts, right? He didn't believe, like he complained more of the problem than find a solution to the problem. So I remember the first time he found an apartment for us, and we told him what we wanted to do. He said in French, he said, "Non, moi je suis dans ce pays, jamais un noir a travaillé avec tout le monde qui a réussi." Which basically means I've been in this country for a very long time. Never have I seen a black person who did the business with everybody and he succeeded. Because Morocco, the way it's set up is that black people do business with other black people. So if you have a restaurant and you're going to sell, you sell to black people. If you're selling hair, you sell to black people. When I did my boutique African, I sold to only black people, right? But when we started the Airbnb business, we were renting to everyone, tourists, locals, everyone. He saw the problem. He didn't see the solution. We started the business, we rented to everyone, as a business should. Nothing happened. Because why? We were finding solutions, not thinking about the problem, right? So that is the second one. Now the third one is that you have two options. Either, let me find it. You have two options. Why did I put this away? Anyway, so yes, you have two options. And the two options are these. You are either going to solve a problem, a small problem for a lot of people, right? Or a big problem for a few people. Small problem for a lot of people, or a big problem for just a few people. Dangote is selling salt because he's solving the salt problem for a lot of people. He must become rich. His MTN is solving connection problems for a lot of people. They have to become rich. The richest man in the world is solving a big problem for a lot of people, and that is why he's selling cars to people. That's why he has become so rich. Lawyers solve big problems for few people and they become rich. So you have to decide, are you going to solve a small problem for a lot of people, or you're going to solve a big problem for a few people? You have to pick. If you're able to do both, solve big problems for a lot of people, then that one, you're not even talking millionaire, you're talking billionaire. That is another level, right? So number 4, you have to look around your community. See around your community, what problem is your community facing? Because it is possible that the problem that people have in Lagos or in Accra is not the same problem that the people who are in Douala have, right? You cannot solve one problem in a place that it is not needed. If you are in Tamale right now, Tamale has a water problem. Any single person who is going to solve the water problem in Tamale is going to become very rich beyond their imagination. Anyone who is going to solve the Ghana problem, which is Ghana has a problem of finding honest employees, right? People who are just going to work diligently and not go behind you. Anybody who can set up an agency, make sure that it is tried and tested, of course. If it is tried and tested and people try it and they see that they are able to get good employees from that companies, that company is going to become rich beyond, because that is the headache of every single entrepreneur I've spoken to in Ghana. That is the major headache. I've tasted it too. I've went in Morocco, people were correct. Ghana is not quite the same, right? Anybody who will solve the problem of electricity in Nigeria is going to become rich beyond their imagination, because Nigeria has a problem of electricity. Find a problem that is peculiar to your community, right? And if you are in a community that you can't find the kind of problems that you have, then you can change to another community. It's acceptable. It is something that you can do, right? When I was in Morocco, I was in Oujda. That was where I did my studies and everything. And once I was done, one day I just decided that I was going to Casablanca. I knew nobody in Casablanca. I went to Casablanca, and the only thing I told my friends was that Casablanca was the economic capital. I told all my friends, Haruna and Ko, I told them, Casablanca is the economic capital of Morocco. I want to position myself in a place where something good can happen to me, right? When I came to Casablanca the first day, I filmed a couple of videos that I'll release, one of these days. But that is it. You have to find out the problems of your community and how you are able to solve it. And now that takes us to number 5. And number 5 is that you shouldn't try to solve all of the world's problems. You should try to solve a simple problem in a very special way. You don't have to start so many businesses. Today you are doing this business, tomorrow you are doing this business. No. Find one business that you can do that you can solve people's problems in, right? In the beginning, you don't have to create so many businesses that you have to run yourself, right? When you get money, when you are rich, then you can have a lot of businesses that you can invest in passively. Dangote and Co have a lot of businesses because they are rich and they can afford to fund these businesses and hire people to operate it passively. They are not involved. When you start and you are involved, you have to find things that you can kind of just invest in, put all of your attention in, and it can solve your problems by solving one problem in a special way. Number 6, do not let your own problems drown you. Every single time that you feel that you have problems, financial problems, it communicates one thing. It means that you are not solving other people's problems. So every single time that you feel broke, just solve other people's problems. They are going to pay you for it and you are going to be good. Are you solving other people's problems? If you are broke right now, it means you are not solving anybody's problems. That is why you are broke. When you are broke, the first thing that you have to think about is, how can I solve people's problems? Solve other people's problems. That is what every single businessman is doing. Every single businessman solves the problems of other people. Number 7, every single time that a problem annoys you, that is a reminder that is a business opportunity. Every single time that something upsets you, you are not happy with a particular situation, it simply means that it's a business opportunity. It doesn't mean that it is going to be a good business, but it's an opportunity for you to look at the business closely. Maybe you want to buy something in your community, you cannot find it. That is a business idea. Why is it that it's not in the community? Is it not in the community because it doesn't have demand, or is it there because it runs out of supply? Right? You have to look at it and start it. When I started my business, I've already told the story of how I started my business. I don't want to bore you with it. I started accidentally. I was about to travel. I needed somebody to rent my place. I didn't just start renting it directly. I first of all went to somebody who was doing Airbnb and I asked the person, can you list my apartment for me whilst I'm away? The person told me, no, I cannot. It turns out they just didn't want to. But that no that they told me gave birth to my business. That is how I started my business. So every single time that something annoys you, that you're not happy about something, it is a business idea and you have to take it very seriously. My phone is off. So number 8, every single person who is richer than you is solving a bigger problem than you. I said this and a lady asked me that, is it necessarily true? I said, yeah, it is true, because that is how the world is structured. The economic structure of the world is like this. It rewards people who solve the biggest problems. Otherwise, it will not function. If I solve a bigger problem than you and you get paid more than me, then I will stop my problem and solve yours, right? So anybody who is solving the biggest problem, anybody who's richer than you, is because they are solving a much bigger problem than yourself, right? Coincidentally, the richest man in the world, coincidentally, is the person who took us out of this world. He takes people to Mars, right? Coincidentally, he is the richest man. So every single person, look around, who has more money than you, they are solving a bigger problem than you, except if they stole that money, right? So it's always, that is the order of the world. Number 9, solve a problem. Number 10, solve another problem. And repeat that way until you become rich, right? If you are following this page, you have to stop referring to yourself as just a businessman, because you are a problem solver after all. So if you're in business, you have to put in your mind that what you do is that you solve problems for people.
Thank you. Subscribe for this page and follow for more. Comment and share this video.